Hello students, welcome to another session of the subject Computer Concepts and C Programming. In the previous session, you learned about the strings and you learned about the fundamental input-output functions supported to accept and display strings. Also, you learned two-dimensional table of strings. In this session, we are continuing our discussion on string and we are going to complete the topics that are string built-in function, as well as we are going to write our own code to simulate the operations of string built-in functions. Okay, so let us understand what do you mean by string built-in functions. In real-time applications, you will be working with strings more than other data types. So it is obvious that you have to manipulate strings. C supports a variety of built-in functions which are shipped along with the C compiler. Okay, you can make use of those functions by just invoking the function by its name and passing the arguments or parameters. That's how it is. So the function will do the task and give you back the result. That's the working of string built-in function. Now let us see what are the various types of string built-in function and how to use those functions. The very first function we are going to look at is the strlen function. So this strlen function, which is nothing but string length function, used to know how many characters are there in a given string. So it returns total number of characters in given string, and it will not count the end of this string character, that is nothing but excluding the, in the brackets, excluding /0. /0 is nothing but end of the string character. The syntax is strlen and in the bracket parameter, and the parameter is nothing but a string. Alright, so if you want to use the string built-in function, you have to use the header file, the string.h. So you have to use the string.h header file if you want to work with string built-in functions. We'll take one example. It's all small letters, strlen, and there is no space between str and len. Suppose the string is Mohan. Okay, so if we use this string strlen to find out the length of characters in Mohan, it will return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the output of this will be 5. Okay, how to print this? Obviously it is returning an integer, so you have to have a LHS of type integer data type. So you have to have a data type called integer data type, and a variable called len, or whatever you want to name the identifier, and len is equal to strlen of the given string. So out len will be having the value 5. Here you can pass the string itself. For example, suppose you have, so this is example 1. Suppose you have a string variable, okay, and you have assigned the value or initialize the value semicolon, and you have a length variable of type integer. If you want to know the length of this variable, strlen, what is the name of the variable? String variable strvar, that's it. Okay, so now len will be having 5. So this is the way you have to use this strlen. Now we'll see the next function, which is called as strcpy, that is copying the contents of one string to another string. The strcpy is used to copy the contents of one string to another string. So that is from source string to the destination string. Syntax is very easy. strcpy, there is no space. So first argument is the source string. I can call it as str1. I'll name it as source string only for your understanding. And then comma destination string, second argument. So the contents of source string will be copied to destination string. Okay, so look at the arrow direction. We'll take a suitable example. Character S1 is equal to Mohan, and there is one more string array. Okay, now I'll use strcpy S1 comma S2. So the contents of S1 will be copied to S2. Suppose you say put as S2, S2 will be having Mohan as the string value. Alright, so this is what the string copying function. Next we'll see how to join two strings with the help of strcat function. The strcat is used to join two strings. Like if you want to join first name and last name together, you can use strcat. Okay. What is the syntax? The syntax is same as the strcpy, strcat. Okay. So S1 and S2. In this case, the contents of S2 will be attached to S1. Once again, the contents of S2 will be appended to S1, joined to S1. So S1 will be having both the strings together. Okay, appends S2 to S1. We'll take example. Character S1 is equal to Mohan, S2 is equal to Das. We have seen all these things in the previous session. How to initialize. strcat, first argument S1 comma S2, two arguments it takes. Now if you say put as S1, the S1 will display Mohan, Das together. So it will be joined and there will be no space. So that is how it concatenates two string. Hope you have understood the simple function. Next we will see how to compare two strings and why it is necessary to have a function to compare two strings. Students, you need to understand why we use the built-in functions to work with strings. The reason being is string is a special kind of data type. You cannot use the regular operators like relational operators, arithmetic operators, the way you used it for arithmetic operations on integers or floating point numbers. The same way you cannot use it on the strings. For example, I have an integer variables x is equal to 10 and y. Suppose I want to copy the contents of x to y, it's just an assignment operator, y is equal to x. Okay, but I cannot copy two strings like this. It is not possible. So that is the reason I have to use the string functions called strcpy. I cannot say two strings s1 is equal to S2. This is not possible in the case of strings because you are not copying the value, it is sequence of values. There has to be some way to copy. So for that you have to use the built-in function. Similarly, you cannot say say is string 1 greater than string 2 or string 1 equal to string 2. You cannot use like this kind of relational operators to compare two strings. You have to have a certain logic to compare. So either you have to write your own logic or you have to use the built-in function. The built-in function now we are going to discuss is the string compare function, which compares two strings and tells you whether the two strings are same, or whether the first string is greater than the second string, or whether the second string is greater than the first string. So that is what the output this function will give you, and this comparison is directly based on the ASCII value of the each string. So if you remember, in the initial classes only I mentioned you that ASCII is a standard way of coding each and every characters. So for every character there will be a number. So based on that number, unique number, the comparison will be made, and then only it will infer whether the strings are equal, less than, or greater than. Let's see the syntax. Syntax: strcmp S1 S2. So this function returns in the sense it gives back a value. What is that value? That value will be either 0, negative value, or a positive 1. 0 in the case S1 equal to S2. If both the strings are same, then 0 will be written. It will return a negative if first string is less than second string. Similarly, it will return a positive number if first string is greater than the second string. This is what the usage of the string compare function. Let's see an example. Int result character S1 is equal to thus S2 is also I am initializing as thus. Okay. Now I will say res is equal to strcmp S1 comma S2. It takes two arguments. Now what would be the answer for this? In the sense, what will be the value of result after executing this instruction? See, both are same string, okay, and here also we have used capital D, here also we have used the capital D. So both are similar, the result value will be 0. Now how to display? If result equal to 0, printf strings are same or similar. Otherwise, else printf not same. Like this, you have to use the decision making and complete the program. Okay. So I'll do some changes over here. Suppose I change it to lowercase. So both are having the same name, that is thus and thus, but here in this case it is a lowercase alphabet. So this will return a value which is not equal to 0, because this and this are completely different. Even though the character means same, it will not return a 0, it will return a positive number or a negative number depending on the subtraction that is being performed, okay, or comparison that is being performed. It will not return a value 0. It will not return a value 0 because both are not same. So that is what the strcmp function all about. So students, we have learnt all the 4 basic string inbuilt function. Now assume that we don't have the inbuilt function. Now how to write our own logic to find out length, compare two strings, copy the contents of one string to another, as well as concatenate. All the 4 operations we will perform by writing our own code or logic. Now we will see how to find the length of the string like strlen. We take one example now. Suppose we have a string Okay. So we call this string as str. So str is having the value Mohan. So index always starts from 0. Okay. There are altogether 6 characters in this string, including the end of the string. Okay. Now how to find out the length of the string? It's very easy. What you have to do is, if you count how many characters are there, or if you traverse this one dimensional array one by one or one cell at a time until you find the end of the string character, then you can find the length of the string. So what you have to do is, you have to have a counter, and then you have to increment the counter each time you visit a cell, okay, until you find the end of the string indicator. So which means that you need to have a iterative statement, or you need to have a iteration to find out the length. Well, let's write the logic. Void main int I and len is equal to 0 to keep track of the length, I for loop, then declare variable str, assign some string value. Okay. Now you need to write the for loop. For I is equal to 0, you have to start the for loop from 0 loop until the last character str of I not equal to end of the string, semicolon I plus plus. That's it. So until you visit the last end of the string, increment it, length plus plus. So this length plus length will be having, len will be having the total number of characters. So now printf length is equal to %d len. Okay. Now in this case output will be 5. Okay. In this case output will be 5. Hope you have understood. It's very, very simple. Now let's find out how to copy the contents of one string to another. We'll take 2 strings now. We'll assume that the first string is having some values. I'll keep it as thus, and there is one more string which is empty. Okay, which is empty, it doesn't have any values in it. Okay, so end of the string is there, 0, 1, 2, 3. What you have to do is, you have to one by one copy the content of each cell to the destination string. That's the logic. So you have to start the for loop, and character by character you have to copy, and for copying character by character you can use the regular assignment operator. So what you have to do is, so you have to loop first until you find /0, and then you have to copy to destination the S1 character. That's it. S1 of I is equal to S2 of I. After copying each, okay, then you have to assign the last character /0, otherwise the string will not be terminated. So you have to remember this. In the last class, in the last video only, I explained to you, each string will be having a end of the string indicator, okay, character. So this is what the logic. Now we'll write the program for this. Void main. I'm not writing the preprocessor directives. Declare integer variable I to keep track of the loop control variable. Declare the variables, that is the character variable, string variables S1, okay, and S2. Okay. Now for I equal to 0, S1 of I not equal to end of the, visit all the cells of the first string I plus plus, S2 of I is equal to S1 of I. That's it. After you have copied cell by cell, then you have to assign the last character as end of the string to terminate. So this completes. If you say put S2, whatever is there in S1 that will be copied and displayed, that is in this case das will be displayed as output. Hope you have followed it. Now we will go to the next operation, that is nothing but the joining of two strings. To join two strings there is a trick. The trick is, first you have to find out how many characters are there in the first string. So for that you have to find the length of the string. So after you find how many number of characters are there in the first string, then from the next position you have to start copying the values of the second string one by one, and after you have done copying, then you have to assign a /0 at the end. That's it. Okay. So we have two strings. We have to join the contents of second string to the first string. First find out how many number of characters are there, okay, in S1, and from that position start copying the contents of S2 one by one and then append a /0. That's it. Okay. So first step is find the length of the first string, then copying. In this case you have to use the length and copy operations which you have learnt. So void main, declare the variable length is equal to 0, I to loop, declare the character S1 is equal to Mohan, S2 is equal to Das. Now find the length for I is equal to 0, str1 of I not equal to end of the string I plus plus length plus plus. Now you got the length. Okay. Now after finding the length you have to again start for loop. Now it is str2 of I not equal to /0 I plus plus. Copy the contents of str. So I am using str here, so make it as yes only. Okay, here also it is yes. Okay, S1 of I, sorry, not I, it has to be length. Okay, length from that current position is equal to S2 of I. Okay, so after you have copied, you have to assign S1 of length is equal to a /0. That's it. Now we are going to learn how to compare two strings without using the built-in function. The fourth operation, compare two strings. Let's take example. S1 is having thus, S2 is also having thus. Okay, it's very easy. What you have to do is you have to start character by character comparison by using equality operator. So you have to check the first character in S1 with first character in S2, and then you have to increment if so. then compare subsequent characters until you find the end of the string. After that, check whether the end of the string character in the first string and end of the string character in the second string, same location, ith location is same. If it is same, then obviously both the strings are same. Okay, so that's what the string comparison operation is all about. Right, well, let's write the program for that. Void main, declare variable I for loop, declare two variables, character S1 is thus, you can change the value while you are working, S2 is also thus. Okay, now while S1 of I, initialize I as 0, equal to S2 of I. Okay, we are checking character by character, and S1 of I not equal to /0, in the sense first string it has to loop till the end of the string, and one more, and S2 of I not equal to /0. Okay, so you have to check multiple conditions over here. If so, go to the next location. If so, go to the next location, like as I said. Once you have completed this comparison, now you have to just check if the last location in both the arrays are same. S1 of I equal to /0 and S2 of I equal to /0, both of them are having the same character in the last, then printf S1 and S2 are same, in the sense similar. Otherwise, I'll write it here, else printf S1 and S2 are not same. Okay, close the bracket for the main function. So this completes the program. I hope you have understood. So with this we complete all the topics in strings. In the next video you are going to learn the actual core part of the C programming, which is nothing but functions. Because of function, C is called as modular programming language. Thank you, students.